Welcome to Warblog. Today I'm going to look at one of the backlog games that I finally got around to sort of doing. It only took me 20 minutes to do. It's taken me 20 minutes to get a computer up and running so that I can do this video, and a few minutes to sort the screen recorder out, and it keeps popping up with things. But I'm not going to labour on it. I'm just going to play it, but I'm not going to play it for very long because guess what? I'm quite busy. I don't have time really. But I think this looks like quite a good game. It's sort of from quite a way back, 16th of January. And so what's happening here is the Saudis are actually advancing on Houthi positions. There's been a few instances of things happening sort of over the last month that have been a bit quiet, but nothing that's significant enough. There was one report in a South Front video regarding some bit to the south, more towards the coast, south of Tays, I think, but I couldn't find any reference to it anywhere else, so I didn't do it. But there hasn't really been anything that sort of struck my mind as being, like the that other situation, which I can't quite recall, near the dam. I can never remember anything. So, but anyway, it's different in the sense that the Saudis are attacking, and I made it easy for myself that they're just units. So I'm not sure what the thing is. I got back into the game and I started thinking, well, you know what? I have no idea what's going on. I lost all the sensibilities of the fine balances involved, and it actually brought to my mind how important or sort of significant all this sort of is as a body of work. It's not easy to do, and so I'm less familiar. I get the feeling that I know the irregulars. I mean, I'm not stupid, but I get the feeling that the irregulars could have a little more, probably quite a good go against these units, but they're all, they'd be at 2-to-1s, and if they could gang up, they'd get on a few more. So the Houthis could probably whittle away at this line, but they've got these big sort of threes, and presumably they would have other things. And I haven't done any of the air attacks or air support or artillery. I just wanted to do this quickly, really. And so it is sort of fairly watered down in the sort of, the units that are there. But it's still representative and significant, and I think it would make an interesting game. But what we've got here, let's get my drawing tool out. My fantastic drawing tool. What we've got here are these threes. I'm pretty sure there's some under there, and they're basically driving down along this road. I mean, another thing about this, there's towns and places all over here, but I'd only put in a few. So really what this is supposed to represent, and that's how I'm going to sort of play it, I think, because I've got to be quick, is this is all going to be a standoff. So I'm just going to focus on this drive through to this place here. They're all ones though, aren't they? There's a 3. There's 3 under there, so it's 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 threes that we can sort of do things with. We want to take this road, so we've got this sort of blockage here. I'm going to assume one is going to be static, and this is going to be static. And I think we could play it a few times to sort of determine how much pressure the Houthis could put on these sort of northern and southern flanks here. But I don't know exactly how I want to do it, because the thing is, we've got 3 stacks. Let me just do some thinking, because that's what it's all about. Let's use white. So we've got 3. 1, 2, 3. Now what we could do is maybe from this hex and this hex, so we move into there, attack this stack there, And then with whatever we've got, we can then maybe push this one out. So we'll be going for this and this in the first instance. But what are the other options? Well, this guy's here, but he's actually in hills. So if we look at the terrain, that is a difficult one. So I think taking these 2 units out and then having everything else move into that position, hopefully taking that, maybe being able to move into that, and then attacking that on turn 2. I'm envisaging I can take both of these stacks out in one turn. Let's just check. Now, there's no towns or anything in there. So I'm going to try that. Right. Now, do I really need all of that? I'm just going to do it all on this because I want to make sure I get it. And I don't want to stress my brain out by thinking at this stage because it's not working properly. But I'm guessing it's going to be a lot. I'm guessing I could have, if I thought about it, I could have maybe spared a bit of this, but let's see. No, that's fairly good odds, 4-1. Yeah, if I'd been a bit cautious, I might have not won that. Right, so we've got the same stack here, so we could very possibly be on worse odds, like a 2 or 3-1, so we might not actually make that. And here, I don't think we can actually get anything else in there. So that might be the only attack that I can really do without sort of messing up, really. I definitely want to move these guys further down. How much has he got left? 1. He's not. He could possibly move into there, but then he'd be really stumped. I think, to be quite honest, that's hill, so I can't overstack there. The thing is, do I want to try and attack that? It could be a 2-1 odds. I'm only saying that because, well, if that's 10 and that's 6, I mean, it would be a third of that, so it might be a 1-1 or even a 2-1. So I'm just going to be cautious, which I tend not to be. Not because I deliberately do that, it's just because being cautious is always a bit boring. I think, oh, I'll just take a risk, you know, it's just a game. So that's my turn. I'm not going to bother with anything else because I'm going to assume it's all static. So the Houthis, what are they going to do? Okay. What can they do? Not much really, but it is a case of identifying weak stacks. I mean, for example, we can move him from there into there, and he could attack that. He could possibly move these into there. I mean, that's a weak stack, but they're in the desert, so they're only worth 2. So we would have 10, so that'd be a 5-1 against that, but they're dug in, so that'd be like 2-1. I'm just saying, as out of, you know, in general, but we can't attack this. We can't attack that because it's 6. So what do we want to do? That might actually be a good move. Only because it causes a bit of a disturbance. It is an interesting situation. Because I'm thinking that I could fall back. So I'd like to fall back with these units to recover them. In fact, I'm just going to leave them there. Although it just draws him in, he hasn't got the movement. There's no motorized units there, so he'd only be able to move in and attack. And yeah, he'd probably knock these both back, but they'll have recovered. Meanwhile, but we want to keep this line static, so I'm not going to use that, but we could use these units to attack that. The only reason I'm saying that is because if we can attack that unit there, see, this is where I'm a bit impetuous. We'll put a threat on this road, which would compromise their advance this way. Alternatively, if we just fall back, say to there, it gives them full scope to take all of these units en masse and align them in whatever the way they want. So as an offensive force, whereas if we attack, we not only possibly fatigue to press one of them, we cause a bit of chaos that means that a few more unintended consequences could possibly happen. So I'm going to do that. Still not sure though I really want to, but I'm going to do it because it's a game. I have to think twice about everything I'm doing because my brain is sort of not working really. So I'm going to move there, and I'm going to attack, and hopefully it'll be a 2-to-1, maybe more. And they've got the exchange, so no, not good. But they went up, and so did we. Okay. Well, that's it. So we've had two things that have happened there, and the first was the Saudi attack, and that was one item, and it had significant consequences. I'm just trying to sort of emphasize the depth and quality of what's actually happened there. And then we had a counterattack which hasn't really worked, and so again, in my mind's eye, it's quite an interesting balance of the waiting behind incredible subtleties of action. We've had quite a lot happen there, but it really has anything changed. So now we've still got this sort of front line here, but we're well and truly engaged here. Now we've got contact there, and they're going to enter the killing fields there, but I don't think they're going to be on the losing side. I thought I clicked that to push along here. Now I think we should be able to move into here and push both these units out and possibly deal with these units here. They're going to be a bit frustrating to deal with, I think, but I think we should be able to knock these two units out first and see what happens. But I think the important thing here that needs to be sort of observed really is that we need to sort of do it in a way, and this is all puzzle solving really, but do it in a way that we can move in, not at the end of the day, not block this with 4 units so we can't move through it. Hopefully we'll be able to exploit in some way, so we'll be able to move in here, attack, move, but we won't be able to do 2, so we'll be able to move in there, attack. That's what I'm getting to. So if we move everything in there and attack, even if we win, we won't be able to do anything else, possibly. So we've got to. So what have we got? Well, the thing is, if we move we've got a 3 in there. So we move a 3/3 and attack, because no matter what happens, he's going to enter a zone of control there. What we really want to do is take this unit out, or this unit. See, do we really want to push into there? I think we might. So we'll move one of these into here, but that would be a 3-to-1. So what do we want? 1 3-to-1, 1 3-to-1, or 1 6-to-1, 1 6-to-1, and nothing else. But if we go 1 3-to-1, 1 3-to-1, and then we can move the other stuff in there and get 2 units against that. Move some of these units around here and take this out. So that's what I'm going to do. So I think I'm going to go for 2 3-to-1s. So this is a gamble. Already I've taken my options and I'm cutting it fine, and I'm taking a gamble on 2 3-to-1s here being successful, and then having the ability to then leverage everything else against these units. So first one. DE. So the first one was a success. Right. So that's what I'm talking about, you see. That was a 12. You know, that was sort of life sucks type dice roll. And he held his ground, and he's blocked me there. However, I do have another roll at that. But is it worth it? I mean, I'll still hold that hex. So, I'm not moving that because it's part of the static line. I'm not moving that because it's part of the static line. Right, he's sort of on his own there. He's sort of a bit of a problem, but I don't think they're going to commit themselves to attack it, but they might. And I'm just going to throw everything. There we are. Waiting. And we win. We haven't got any more movement. So that's that. So I think it's quite interesting, really, because you get a limited amount of possibility each turn. It just feels, because you've got overwhelming forces, that you can do so many things. And of course, whichever way you apply yourself, you can probably win, but you can't attack everything at the same time, because you only have a sort of move attack type option in this situation, because they're all foot soldiers. There's no mobile units in there or mechanized units. There's no artillery or air power to sort of pummel things up beforehand. So that's that. Now, obviously, we did want to try and take that. They've recovered. They're depressed. I'm still in the mind of trying to hammer this flank. He's depressed, but he's now recovered. Try and leave him where he is, or should we move him back? I think we'll move him back, actually, because it will be able to use the new super duper recovery thing and recover fully. Here we're going to do this without explaining the maths too much. Just think another terrible battle. So the Houthis are really not doing well, and now they're stuck because we've got this on 3 and him on 3, and it's going to be a whitewash really from there. They should have won. They could have possibly won last time. I would have hoped they would have won this time, and then we could have attacked that. We could have pushed both of these units back, which would have compromised their advance, but that's not happened. So it's going to be a sort of a drive through here now. What I'm going to do to represent that is I'm going to start pulling things back. Which is interesting, but I'm sort of tempted to leave it at that. It's interesting because now we've got this block of units exposed. So what do? Do they consolidate, maybe taking these units out, or burn down this road? Because the thing is, there's still a thorn in the side. They're still powerful. For example, we could have attacked that at 5 to 1 and then tried this attack afterwards. That would have been better. Because the advance is gone, we're going to move like this. If we push them back, okay. Oh, that's nice. We could almost get a complete surround there, but we just don't have the units for it, which is a pain. But we do the attack anyway. They've gone back to there. See, I don't want to move him out of the town because it doesn't make sense, but that's that. But I'm going to leave it at that because I want to do things. I've got to do some things, but I am aware that this is a guilty video, and I haven't done a video for a while, and so. But I just that is so interesting. I was thinking. Well, I'm not going to go into what I was thinking, but I was just sort of aware that I haven't done a video for so long, and I can remember thinking, well, I really enjoy it, but I couldn't remember why. I think that was what I was trying to sort of get to. I couldn't remember why, and I think I just demonstrated there quite happily why Warblog is the most amazing game on the planet, because you can sort of do things like that, and you sort of think, well, you can read a lot into that, and so anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. But I am essentially going to try and ramp back into things, but I'm just so crushed between enormous things that are happening. I get huge chunks of oh, I'll just do this. It's only an 8-hour thing, but I have to fit in a few of these, a day or a week or something, and then just all these sort of things. And this video is taking 25 minutes, and the fact that I can't find 25 minutes out of that time is just sort of like, I start thinking, why? What is there about this that I can't get this 25 minutes together? An hour would be a bit much at this moment, I think. So, also considering that I did the size, I'd made this game today, so I've probably spent an hour and 20 minutes so far, hour and a half doing this so far. So that's a big chunk out of my day, to be quite honest. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, the big key thing to take away is that I'm still here. And there's going to be lots and lots of new videos. As soon as I get myself back into a sort of more comfortable position, it's going to be business as usual. I get the feeling that people think, is YouTube dead or something like that, and that's not the case. But it is scary. You sort of think, oh, hang on, is that how it happens? People just sort of somehow find themselves doing something else, and then next minute they realise they haven't updated their YouTube channel in 2 years. But I enjoy it. So that's not. So this is more really to just reassure and to almost make my presence felt again, and to make the promise, which I don't feel is unfounded, that it will be back to normal soon. Normal service will be resumed shortly. Maybe not imminently though. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.